Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? One of the things I told you we're going to talk about throughout this offseason leading up to the NFL year is all of the third-party opinions on the New Orleans Saints. Be it subjective, objective, columnists, front office personnel, coaches, GMs, scouts, all that, then analytics, metrics, everything to paint a picture for what people are projecting for the New Orleans Saints. Las Vegas, the odds makers, have the Saints win total at 5.5, basically thinking they'll fall on either side of that number, 6-11 or 5-12. For whatever it is worth, Pro Football Focus released their projected win totals, and they have the Saints in their metrics at 5.9 wins. So the odds makers have the Saints at 5.5. Pro Football Focus, again, analytics-driven, data-driven, have the Saints at 5.9 wins. Again, I'm not telling you this to poo-poo New Orleans. I'm just telling you this so you have a clear understanding of what people outside of the black and gold ecosystem are saying. And you can throw your hands in the air and say, who cares? I'm fine with that. But as the season progresses, don't come back and say, I didn't tell you. This is what people outside of our little circle corner of the world think about this team. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Maybe Tyler Shough is awesome and the Saints go to the playoffs. I don't believe that. But I'm sharing this with you the same way that I did all the Derek Carr stuff for the last 2 years. Every time there was a ranking, a quarterback tier, all of it, I shared them all with you. And Carr routinely was a upper middle tier, lower bottom tier quarterback in the NFL. Lower middle tier, upper bottom tier quarterback in the NFL. He was a high teens, low 20s quarterback in the NFL. Still means you're a starting quarterback, you're just not elite. And clearly that proved out over the last 2 years. A lot of people are saying the same thing about this New Orleans Saints team. So Pro Football Focus is the latest to throw that in there. One of the fascinating storylines that's happening right now, as I understand, look, throughout June, most people here were so laser focused on LSU baseball making the run to the national championship. Calendar turns to July, and it's portal and SEC football media days. But look, next week, we're a week away from the New Orleans Saints, less than a week away from the Saints reporting to training camp. They report on July 23rd. One of maybe the biggest storyline between now and then is that Tyler Shough is still unsigned. Now, he went through rookie minicamp. He went through OTAs. He went through mandatory minicamp. That's awesome. And he's a guy who I'm assuming, as I think many of you are, is going to be the Saints starting quarterback. My feeling generally, I had a lot of South Carolina people ask me this at SEC Media Days. Hey, what do you think about about Spencer Rattler, being that he finished at Carolina? And what I pretty consistently say about Rattler is, look, I like Rattler. The physical ability is obviously there. It's why he was a 5-star. He was projected at one point to be the number one pick in the draft. We've seen flashes. But you have a new coach in who's an offensive guy, and they use the 40th pick on a quarterback. I don't think, they know what they had coming in Hainer Rattler. If they felt good about that, I don't think they're using the 40th pick on a quarterback. Because they used that pick on a quarterback, I think they're going to go with their guy. So I think Tyler Shough is going to be the guy, but it's interesting because Tyler Shough is still unsigned. Now, I know more likely than not, this is going to get done. Contract holdouts are a thing. It happens in almost every organization. But what's happening right now in the NFL is an oddity because typically, especially under the CBA that was signed back in 2011 that capped rookie contracts, you don't see holdouts among rookies as much anymore because the rookie salaries are capped and there's slot value associated with picks. And so really it's about getting to your second contract. That was part of the CBA that was signed back in 2011. It was after guys like Jamarcus Russell and Sam Bradford signed these record-breaking deals and then it didn't live up to them. That's when the the new contract structure happened. So you don't typically see holdouts. You don't see guys negotiating much because there's not much to negotiate with the way the new CBA happened. Well, Jaden Higgins, up into this week, you still had the majority of second-round picks unsigned. Well, Jaden Higgins of the Houston Texans went 34 overall. He was the second pick of round 2. And he signed on May 8th, he signed a 4-year, $11.7 million fully guaranteed deal. Most NFL contracts are not fully guaranteed. That's why you hear, like, we have a signing bonus, and so you hear a dollar amount with X amount of it fully guaranteed, right? So you have to play out the entirety of the contract to collect all that money. Well, Jaden Higgins signed a fully guaranteed deal, so he reset the market and the precedent. So a lot of other prospects are holding out going, I'm not signing unless I get a fully guaranteed deal. So a day after Higgins signed, Carson Schweisner, who's a linebacker who went number 1 pick earlier to the Cleveland Browns, he got a fully guaranteed deal. Well, now Nick Emenwari of the Seahawks, just yesterday, signed a fully guaranteed deal. He was the 35th pick. So you're starting to see these guys around where Shough was drafted, get these fully guaranteed contracts. So we're looking at Tyler Shough going, all right, well, Shough and his representation are, wanting a fully guaranteed contract because that's what guys around him are getting. And the Saints don't really seem very willing to do that as they're staunchly holding out. So the slot value for Tyler Shough is 4 years, $10.79 million, but he wants the entire thing guaranteed. The Saints don't appear willing to do that. Now, a best case scenario is Tyler Shough becomes your starter, becomes a really good player, and in a couple of seasons you tear this contract up and you're giving him a new deal. And you have your franchise quarterback, and this the $1 million or so that they're negotiating over, haggling over, is irrelevant. But $1 million is still $1 million. So I understand Tyler Shough wanting a fully guaranteed deal. I think it's also fundamentally absurd that the NFLPA is so incompetent that when they negotiate, they don't negotiate full contracts, fully guaranteed deals like the NBA and Major League Baseball have. Instead, they're negotiating things like the getting rid of drug testing so they can smoke weed and like less practice time. Whatever. I mean, prioritize your money. But I digress. Don't want to go down that path too far. The only reason, and my guess is the Saints understand the importance of having Tyler Shough there. But you're less than a week away from the start of training camp. And this is a rookie quarterback who needs every single possible rep available. You cannot have Tyler Shough holding out in training camp and missing practices. I don't care if it's a single practice. He needs them all. I understand he spent 7 years in college. He's 25 years old. He's more veteran, all that stuff, just because of the calendar. But he's still an NFL rookie. And this is his first taste of the NFL. And he needs every single rep he can get if you're expecting him week 1 to be your starting quarterback, which I think is going to be the expectation for Tyler Shough. So, again, I think they're going to get this done because there's going to be urgency. And the clock always sort of necessitates that urgency. When you get closer to the start of camp, they'll if this was Drew Brees, you're not worried about it. Drew Brees doesn't need practice. It's just make sure you got a deal done and he's there in time for game 1. I mean, remember Brett Favre, like at the end of his career, he'd retire, miss all of the preseason, and like the week of the first game, he'd unretire and go play. Okay, well, Brett Favre was playing in the NFL for 20 years. It's no big deal. Same with Aaron Rodgers, missing an entire offseason. Just doesn't matter. Tyler Shough needs all these reps. So, again, file it away, watch it. But the Saints report on the 23rd, you're talking 5 days from now. You'd love to see this thing get done before then, because if it doesn't, then the advantage starts to sway toward the veteran guy in Spencer Rattler, who's got a year under his belt, who's played in a handful of games already, while Tyler Shough would then be playing catch-up. So something to watch as the Saints get closer to the start of camp. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.